I never believed in ghosts. I worked as a freelance photographer in Yorkshire, England, mostly taking pictures of old architecture. Abandoned mansions, forgotten halls, that sort of thing. But one job last winter changed everything. It was December 14th. I received an email from a woman named Margaret Holloway offering me $2,000 to photograph a countryside house on Whitmore Lane. She wanted interior and exterior shots for restoration documentation. The catch: the house had been uninhabited for over 60 years. I arrived that evening. The sun was almost gone, and frost covered the fields like a thin layer of glass. When my GPS finally said, "You've arrived," there was nothing. Just an old iron gate half buried in weeds, and beyond it, a narrow path leading into the woods. The gate creaked open with a sound that made my spine shiver. I walked down the path for maybe 10 minutes until I saw it, the Holloway Manor. It stood in the middle of the forest, like something frozen in time, tall, gray, with ivy crawling up its walls and windows dark as empty eyes. For a moment I thought I saw a curtain move on the upper floor. But there couldn't be anyone there. Not in that cold. I set up my camera equipment inside. The door was unlocked, which was strange, and the air inside smelled of damp wood and rust. Every step echoed like I was walking inside a cathedral. There was no electricity, so I used my flashlight. My breath turned white in the air. I started taking photos: the staircase, the grand piano in the hall, the cracked portraits on the walls. Every photo I took, somehow the flash revealed more than my eyes could see. In one picture behind me, a faint silhouette appeared, like someone standing by the piano. I checked again. Nothing there. I convinced myself it was just dust or reflection. But the deeper I went into the house, the heavier it felt, like the air itself didn't want me there. In the dining room, a long table stood with 10 chairs. The plates were still set, covered in decades of dust. When I moved closer, I realized one plate was clean, like someone had just eaten there. I felt something shift in the air behind me. A whisper. Sounded like my name. I turned and the hallway was pitch dark. My flashlight flickered twice, and then stabilized. Trying to calm down, I went upstairs. The second floor was worse, colder, narrower, and filled with that uneasy silence old houses have. I entered the master bedroom. The wallpaper had peeled away, exposing the brick. A mirror stood in the corner, cracked right down the middle. When I aimed my camera toward it, the reflection showed something that wasn't in the room, a figure standing behind me. I spun around, nothing. But when I looked back at the mirror, the figure was closer. My flashlight started flickering again. I tried to leave, but the door wouldn't open, like something was holding it shut. Then the temperature dropped so sharply that my breath fogged the mirror. In the condensation, letters began to form slowly. "Leave now." I panicked, forcing the door open. It finally gave way and I ran into the hallway. My camera fell, but I didn't care. The sound of footsteps echoed behind me, slow, dragging, but heavy. I ran down the staircase. Halfway through, I heard a faint voice, a woman whispering, "Don't leave him alone." I froze for a second, then bolted through the front door. When I turned back, every window of the house was lit with a faint orange glow, as if candles had been lit in every room. I got into my car and drove without stopping until I reached the nearest town. That night I couldn't sleep. Around 2:47 a.m. I checked my camera. Somehow, it had recorded even after falling. The footage showed the bedroom mirror again. And behind me, a pale face staring through the crack. But here's the part that still haunts me. When I tried to contact Margaret Holloway the next day, her email didn't exist. And when I asked the local council about the house on Whitmore Lane, they said the Holloway Manor burned down in 1963. The report said the fire killed the Holloway family, including their daughter, Margaret. And yet her email to me was sent only a week ago. I deleted the footage that night, but sometimes, around 2 or 3 a.m., my camera still turns on by itself. Always facing the mirror. Always recording.